What's going on YouTube? It's your boy KO from Night Vlogs, and today I'll be bringing you a review on some excellent beginner boxing gear and equipment. I recently got into boxing, say about a year or so now, pretty much in January when I started my journey to make me some gains. Talking all kinds of gains. Gains in the gym, gains at work, gains academically. I'm just talking all kinds of gains. But anyway, all jokes aside, I'll be giving you a review and share my experience with some of the equipment that every beginner will need. But anyway, stay tuned and you'll. Okay, first up, we'll be going with gloves. I mean, you can't box without gloves. These are made by Everlast. They come at a pretty good price. Like I said, most of this is like beginner stuff. It's not your elite boxing equipment. But these are Everlast. I want to say I initially got these from Hibbett Sports, and they were around like 36 bucks. But also I wanted to mention also, if you're gonna do shopping for beginner boxing equipment, go to Academy Sports or shop online. They have way better prices and way better deals. But anyway, these are 16-ounce gloves, which is pretty much the standard for most gloves that you will be practicing with. They have very good cushion. And also they offer extra wrist support. You know, it's this, whatever it's called, Evershield. I mean, they're excellent gloves for heavy bag punching and, you know, general practice uses. But these are great gloves. I also recently bought another pair of Everlast gloves. They're basically the same thing, but with these are actually 12 ounces. Which I've noticed they feel a lot better in my hands. I have smaller hands typically, what the hell? Generally than most people. But these are great. Like I said, these are 12 ounces, but that 4 ounce less than the 16, it's a very noticeable difference. Like the speed in which you can punch, and like when I connect on the heavy bag, it feels way better with the lighter gloves. And these I got these for actually $29 at Academy. That's what I was saying. If you're gonna shop for something, like if you're gonna go to a general store or something like that, Academy is a great store to start with. But these are great. Also, another type, these are basically neoprene gloves. You can use these on the heavy bag, but they don't have as much cushion and they don't offer as much support. And I wouldn't advise trying to hit extremely hard with these, because you can hurt your wrist, especially when your technique's not good. Like as in when I first started, I was kind of spraining my wrist whenever I would go out. But once you get your technique down, you can use these a little bit more. And they're definitely a good way to warm up because they're really light and you can really get some good speed, and it'll make you feel like you're dang Mike Tyson with these, how you hit with them once you take off those 16-ounce gloves. These feel like you're wearing nothing at all. Also, those actually came with a pair. Those were made by Century. What I have here are some boxing mitts. These are actually really good. I recently bought these as well. They came as a pair with the neoprene gloves. I want to say the total price for that was around $36. But these are great. They feel very comfortable, and they're definitely more solid than the ones that I first had. I had some Everlast, the cheaper version of them, not the Everlast Mantis or whatever they're called, which I think these are basically that same shape. But these feel excellent. Like they fit my hand better, and you can definitely get a nice pop out of them. They just feel more better made. The quality is definitely noticeably better than the cheap Everlast version that I had. Let's see. But all of this is good. Sorry, I had a little bit of technical difficulty. But I was speaking on the Century mitts. Anyway, these are very good mitts, and they, like I mentioned, they came with the neoprene gloves that I spoke on. But this is a really good value for the price. Like I said, it was around 36 bucks, and you can get both of these. And I also got these at Academy as well. And one thing that cannot be overlooked are your wrist wraps. This is where you're gonna get most of your wrist support and, you know, hand support in general. That's gonna keep you from spraining or breaking your hand. you definitely want to invest in some good wrist wraps. These are the Century version, but I would go with the Everlast. I have those as well, and I just like how they feel. They feel they just feel better to me, more stable when I wear those. And you want to go with the 180 inch. I made a mistake in the beginning of going with the 108 inch, but that's not enough for the support you need, especially when hitting a heavy bag or if you're gonna actually be sparring. Definitely go with the 180 inch, which is basically the standard. And also, yeah, and I have really small hands, and this is enough for me. Another thing that I got also, which is good for sparring, you definitely want to protect your head. This UFC headgear. I haven't used it much, but it definitely feels like it does what it needs to as far as mitigating the force of getting hit in the head. The only thing I will say is that because it's pretty much designed to protect your entire face for the most part, like your chin, your cheeks, kind of keeps you from getting hit in the eyes somewhat. But what that also does, the negative of this is that it kind of obscures your view, especially like I was practicing some defensive drills, had my girlfriend kind of punching me, and I was trying to evade and block punches, and it kind of, from the side, it's kind of hard to see like a hook. And I got caught a few times because it just, like I said, it's kind of obscured. And I'm sure with a little bit more practice, you'll get more used to it as well as I. But it's definitely good, and it does what it needs to. And I think that's really about it. I mean, also got a some Century mouthpieces. I haven't had a chance to actually use this yet because I haven't been in a real fights, But you will need this if you're gonna actually be pursuing actual, boxing lessons and actually sparring with people, or actually, fights. I guess actually competing is what I mean. But yeah, I would definitely. It was a good price on these as well. I think around $9.99 for two, and they what's it says, 3-piece mouth guard, whatever that means. It's supposedly have pretty decent protection, so you definitely don't want to get your teeth knocked out. But that's pretty much it. I'll recap everything. Like I said, the Everlast gloves, excellent gloves to go with, 16 ounces, or I probably wouldn't go lower than 12 unless you're actually competing. I think like at the 147 weight class, they use around 8 to 10 ounce gloves. Don't quote me on that, but it's around that range. But the 12 ounce definitely, I love how they feel, and they offer just as much protection as these. It has decent padding as well, but it just feels so much lighter. Like that extra 4 ounces is definitely noticeable from these. Again, the Century mitts. These are some excellent mitts. I really love how they feel in my hands. It kind of contours or whatever, but they definitely they're solid mitts if you're going to be having someone to practice with, a sparring partner, someone that you're going to be doing defensive drills and practicing your timing and technique. Those are very good for that. But for the most part, that's all I have right now. I do have also an Everlast heavy bag. I can't do a review on that right now, of course, but any of their bags are pretty good. You just decide whichever weight you want to use, and they're pretty much solid. And I haven't had any issues with mine aside from finding somewhere to actually have it mounted or hanging. But that's my review of this beginner boxing equipment. Hopefully you're able to get something out of it, and I definitely would recommend any of the equipment that I reviewed today or gear. But anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment, all the same stuff that every other YouTuber on YouTube tells you every time you watch the video. But anyway, it's your boy Night Owl, KO from Night Vlogs, signing out. Oh, and PS, if you ain't doing it for the games, then what the you doing it for?